майка, веднага реших да го взема, но си признавам, че тогава не знаех абсолютно нищо за етеричните масла, освен че България е производител в този бранш, голям, че сме известни по цял свят с розовото масло и толкова. И взех комплекта. Спомням си, че тогава ми казах, че трябва да си купя още масла, тамян и други. И аз реших, тъй като нямах информация, нямах уелнес консултант, който да ме посъветва, реших, че ще си взема други масла от българския пазар, от интернет. Поръчах ги в момента, в който дойдох вкъщи и започнах да разбирам разликата между дотера и другите масла. Веднага видях, че това не е същия продукт, който беше в тези шишенца на екрана. Признавам си, тогава ги изхвърлих, продължих да си ползвам дифузъра и маслата и така една година. Тогава работех на Черноморието в един комплекс за уелнес и спорт и не бях удовлетворена от работата си, почнах да си търся нова работа и съвсем случайно попаднах на обява, в която видях, че дотера има дестилерия в България и че те си търсят човек с моя опит. Това стана 2019 година. Въобще не знаех, че дотера има дестилерия в България. Бях много изненадана, много щастлива от факта. Разбира се, кандидатствах и така започна моя път от снабдяването на дотера, от производството, от сърцето на дотера и то в моята родна страна. Веднага, когато започнах през 2019 в дестилерията в Добрич Есетерия, тези от вас, които не знаят, дотера има дестилерия в Добрич, където се дестилира една голяма част от маслата. По-късно ще ви кажа, ще разберете, може ли да оправим... Имаме... Не излизаше така, може би интернета нещо е слаб и затова така се получава. Добре. Така, през 2019, когато започнах работа в дестилерията в Есетерия, това са снимки от дестилерията, съжалявам, че не се виждат така, не се виждат добре. В Canva е презентацията, може би има проблем с интернет, надявам се да се оправи. Тогава веднага разбрах всъщност, че дотера е не само компания за етерични масла, че тя е най-голямата компания за етерични масла и започнах да разбирам всъщност какво стои за този мащаб. Видях колко много грижа, колко много смисъл стои зад всяка една стъпка от земята до бутилката на дотера. И още повече ме правеше горда това, че се случва в моята страна. Виждах как идват собствениците от щатите в България, показват грижа към нас, служителите, към фермерите. Не искаха нищо друго, освен да се интересуват за това как сме ние, дали дотера е променила нашия живот към по-добро, този на фермерите. Отиваха и се срещаха на полето с тях. И това силно ме впечатли, защото много малко собственици и хора на високи позиции го правят. Другото, което разбрах, докато работих в дестилерията в Есетерия, а по-късно и розоварната, която построи дотера в Шипка през 2020, разбрах, че зад всеки един продукт стои много наука и стандарт за качество. Стандарт за качество, който дотера следва наистина неуморно, безкомпромисно. Правиха се пред очите ни анализи на всяко едно масло, на всеки един продукт. След това маслото отиваше в контейнер, който отиваше в щатите и там се правиха още много изследвания, анализи, за да са сигурни хората от компанията, че това, което получи накрая крайния клиент, ще е най-доброто и най-чистото масло. И тогава започнах да разбирам всъщност защо тези други масла, които съм си поръчала от интернет, са били различни. Да, и тогава разбрах, че дотера не е само производител на етерични масла, не само следва стандарта за качество и чистота, тя влага страшно много в научните изследвания. В научни изследвания, за да изучи тази голяма и дълбока материя на етеричните масла и техния ефект върху нас по най-добрия начин. Постоянно се инвестира, има много учени в щатите, които правят непрекъснати проучвания и днес ще имаме един такъв гост специален от щатите, който оглавява развойната дейност в Дотера. Ще научите повече от него, защо Дотера е различна компания. Но сега вместо да продължавам да ви разказвам за това, ще ви покажа едно видео, в което ще чуете всъщност за мисията и визията от самите собственици на Дотера. Ако тръгне видеото. Не може да тръгне? Не. Стига във Варна, в Пловдив, в другите по-малки градове тръгнал, в София не може да тръгне. Това е... Не съм съгласна. Опитайте пак. Назад. Да. Има някакъв проблем според мен с интернета и за това не тръгвам. Моля ви, направете нещо, защото това ще пречи и на другите презентатори. Малко му разхвали на техниците да им даде. Това е много важно видео, трябва всички да го видят. Няма как да го пропуснем. Докато се опитват техниците да оправят техническия проблем, искам да ви представя нашите специални гости днес. Имаме честа тук... Добре, спрете го за малко само да представя гостите. Имаме специални гости днес от Дотера Corporate. Наистина сме големи късметли за това, че имаме дестилери в България и имаме възможност при нас да идват такива стойностни хора. Имаме Михаела Опра е тук, тя е директор на Европа Leadership. Михаела, благодаря за това. Емили Бел, която е директор на социалното и работи с екипа на Сетера и Тера Роза. Днес ще чуете повече за това колко е важна чистотата за Дотера и за целия supply chain. Олга Мазур, която много рано ще е тук. Олга ще бъде сред вас през целия ден, ще може да я питате. Тя е човекът, който стои зад най-новия продукт, фибрите, които на конвенцията представихме, най-новия продукт на Дотера. Тя стои зад тези фибри, които са страхотни. Може да си говорите с нея, да й задавате въпроси. И очакваме вице-президента на развойната дейност на Дотера, който в момента е на полет от Амстердам до София. Ще дойде след обяд и ще ви разкаже за науката и какво стои зад всички продукти на Дотера, научната дейност. Така може сега да пуснем видеото, за да чуем нашите собственици и тяхната мисия и визия.
While many people believe that all oils are the same, they could not possibly be the same. And quality is the defining factor of whether or not an essential oil is actually going to accomplish what you and I would like it to.
They have to do what they're supposed to do every time. People have a very high expectation of doTERRA's essential oils, that they're going to get the results that they expect. And so we cannot compromise on quality.
Each oil goes through a battery of tests We do organoleptic testing, specific gravity, GCMS, FTIR, optical rotation, refractive index, we do contamination testing, and we do stability testing every single time.
Quality is job one, and it's at the heart of what we do to ensure that every oil is exactly what we advertise it to be, pure, efficacious, and people can get repeat results, and they know the results that they're going to get.
We take great steps in not just determining the purity of the oil, but understanding in great detail the potency through where we get the plant from, how we distill the essential oil, and how we are protective of that process all the way through. That then gives us an essential oil that has the value that we've all come to expect from doTERRA.
As we source essential oils, quality is at the heart of everything we're doing. When we look for a partner, we look for a partner with knowledge of the plants, knowledge of the distillation processes, knowledge of the chemistry, and someone that we can work with that understands the importance of that. We need partners who are committed to the same cause that we are, which is providing the best oils in the world.
This is why doTERRA came to be. We knew that we had to have an essential oil that we could depend on, that would work every single time. It didn't exist in the marketplace. We knew that we had to go out and create it, which meant we're working with farmers on the ground in 46 countries and growing, so that every single family, every single individual can open up a doTERRA bottle and know they're going to get effective results every single time.
Чувате ли? Сега, когато видяхме това видео, следва да си зададем въпроса, кой предава тази мисия напред. Сещате ли се кой е? Точно така, Wellness консултантите. Аз на всяко едно събитие ги моля Wellness консултантите да станат. Ще ви помоля и сега, за да ви видят, защото вие сте много важни за мисията на доTERRA. Това са всъщност хората, които не просто предлагат продукти на компанията, а те имат задълбочени знания, индивидуална грижа към всеки един и са хората, които наистина са посланици на мисията на компанията и нейната визия. Така че е много важно да имате wellness консултанта. Може би ако аз, когато си бях взела Home Essential Kit, имах такъв, нямаше въобще да си помисля да си взема други масла. Имах щастието през по време на работата си в Есетера и Terra Rosa да се запозная с wellness консултанти от цял свят. Те идваха от Щатите, от Австралия, от Корея, от Япония и не просто разглеждаха какво се случва в дестилерията, не просто разглеждаха процеса, а го преживяваха. Благодаряха ни за това, което правим и споделяха своите лични истории. Аз изпитвах наистина голяма гордост, че тези хора, които предават знанията си по цял свят, идват тук в моята страна и оценяват толкова високо това, което правиме в България и което doTERRA прави в България. И тогава още повече обичах doTERRA, почнах да обичам doTERRA, защото видях, че има и друга страна на бутилката. Фондацията doTERRA Healing Hands, в която бях и аз много ангажирана в много от проектите. Много социални проекти и много голяма помощ правят колегите от Есетера и Terra Rosa в районите, където са дестилериите. Също така има и една програма, която се казва Match програма на doTERRA Healing Hands, в която wellness консултанти участват и помагат на нуждаещи се хора по цял свят. Приготвила съм един слайд, в който може да видите в Европа каква голяма сума е дарена от doTERRA Healing Hands. Тук в България имаме едно момиче, което така прие при сърце тази програма Match на doTERRA Healing Hands. Вече имаме един реализиран проект. Успяхме да спечелим, да съберем средствата. И сега съвсем скоро, с нощи, реализирахме още един проект, който ни беше одобрен от доTERRA и събираме средства за него. Направила съм един слайд и ще я помоля да дойде тя, за да ви разкаже набързо за това, защото много държахме на това събитие да съберем средства за тази фондация Светулка. Есетерия също са работили с нея и са реновирали целият детски център в Добрич, а Креми сега ще се заеме да им помага за детското отделение в Габрово, нали така?
Благодаря, Валя, много за цялата подкрепа, която му каза, за да направим наистина за днес да бъде готов и одобрен този проект, тъй като той минава няколко фази на одобрение. Ако вие имате някаква идея да направите нещо добро, има маса, на която можем да ви разкажем как да стане това с конкретни стъпки, много е лесно. Днес ще ви помолим за подкрепа, защото доTERRA удвоява всяко дарение в рамките на проекта. Целият проект за реновация на детското отделение е огромен, над 500 000 евро, като по програма Матч имаме възможност да дарим до 20 000 долара и сме кандидатствали за абсолютния максимум. За това ще сме благодарни за всички. Фондация за доброто, всъщност програма Светулка реновира отделения педиатри в цялата страна. Вече има 9 реализирани пълни промени на отделенията, като най-хубавото е, че те освен да ремонтират отделенията, работят много и с служителите за трансформация на здравеопазването, за грижа към пациентите и работа с техните родители, защото знаете, болничният престой е много стресиращ, а пък нашата кауза е всъщност да не се стига до там, но има ситуации, в които не може да се избегне и идеята е в тези ситуации малките пациенти да се чувстват добре. Благодаря на всеки, който ще отдели средства или ще сподели за каузата, за да ни подкрепи.
Благодаря, Креми, за този ентусиазъм. Благодаря на всички. Ако искате да научите повече, ще научите след малко и следващия ни лектор за Healing Hands и може и на масата наистина да попитате момичетата. Продължавам с моята история през... Ако ми позволи техника. Да преместим слайда. През 2024 година се случи друг път в доTERRA за мен. Имах възможността да премина към корпоративната част, т.е. да бъда в тази си роля сега. Беше предизвикателно за мен, но вярвам, че преминах с ваша помощ доста плавно през това нещо и с много от вас продължавам с голямо сърце да ви помагам да растете, да се развивате. Това е моя мисия. И колегите ми са страхотни, менеджерите ми са страхотни, компанията е наистина компания, за която всеки би мечтал да работи. Щастлива съм от работата си, за това, което правя и също така вярвам силно в ценностите, които нашата компания като служители иска да следваме. Може да ги прочетете отзад. Много е важно да бъдеш наследство, да оставиш наследство, да бъдеш чист и истински. Опитвам се да го предавам и на моите деца тези ценности, защото наистина вярвам, че колкото и идеалистично да звучат те в днешно време, наистина това е смисъла да сме тук, да бъдем днес тук, да правим добро, да правим света по-добър, да живеем с чистотата на природата и да правим добро за всеки един човек. Благодаря ви, че ме изслушахте и когато говорим за наследство, това нали са нашите деца, затова винаги мислим как да се държим, какъв пример им даваме. И аз много се радвам, че тук има толкова много деца, които вече растат с доTERRA и имах щастието да видя един ангел на събитието в Пловдив. Тя всъщност е пораснал човек, който е в детско тяло, наистина ангелче, което толкова обича продуктите, защото е видяла как тези продукти са помогнали на нейното семейство и на нейното братче. И затова реших да я поканя. Тя се осмели да ми каже да, затова искам да я аплодирате. Това е Михаела, тя е само на 7 години. И тя ще дойде, за да ни разкаже защо обича доTERRA. Ела миличка от тази страна. Силни аплодисменти. Това е прекрасно същество. Да, защо обичаш дотера и какво е дотера в твоя живот и на семейството?
Здравейте, аз съм Михаела и съм на 7 години. Аз съм тук, защото обичам дотера. Откакто дотера влезе в нашия живот, той се промени изцяло. Моят любим продукт са 10 основни масла, защото с тях се помагаме в всяко едно неразположение, с тях си правим най-различни рулончета, детокс ванички и може би най-важното за мен е именно симфония на клетките. Друг мой любим продукт е детският пробиотик, който, когато знам, че го приемам всяка сутрин, пия, моето коремче е по-здраво, моят организъм също, така аз съм по-спокойна и здрава. Аз имам брат, който е в неравностойно положение и откакто започне и той да използва дотера, той се промени изцяло. Като той започна да говори много повече, да е много по-спокоен, затова съм с цялото си сърце благодарна на дотера, защото аз виждам разлика в моя брат.
Много ти благодарим, че сподели с нас това. След това и мама ще сподели вашата история. Ти си една прекрасна дама и аз съм сигурна, че някой ден ще бъдеш на конвенция. Разбрах, че учиш и английски.
Да.
Просто си страхотно дете и ти пожелаваме най-големия успех и да продължаваш да предаваш мисията и това ангелско сърчице, което имаш и тази усмивка да огрява всеки. Благодарим ти много, че беше с нас. А сега искам да поканя Емили Бел, която е по народност от Франция, но живее в Австралия и тя от няколко години отговаря за снабдяването на дотера тук в нашия район. Тя ще ви говори много по-детайлно и много по-задълбочено за това какво означава за дотера снабдяването, за цялата верига на доставки, колко е важно за собствениците и за компанията ние да бъдем на място на снабдяването. Emily, thank you for saying yes to come on the stage and to share your expertise and knowledge.
Thank you for having me. Valia, thanks for the introduction. So yes, I do live in Australia, but I'm originally from France. So it's been fantastic being here in Europe. Some people ask me, how did you end up in Australia? It's all about love. Yeah. But it's been fantastic being back this month at the European Convention, seeing so many of you, and spend some time with all our amazing leaders, and thank you for everything that you do. And when Valia asked me, so I've been at Terra Rosa in Shipka all this week. We drove this morning with Olga and Mihaela actually, and we're going back there tomorrow. But it's the middle of the rose harvest at the moment, so we have farmers delivering flowers every day, and we're producing this amazing rose oil for you. But this is all thanks to you, so it wouldn't happen without you. So when Valia asked me whether we could make the trip for the day today, of course we jumped on the opportunity because we always love to see you all and take the opportunity to thank you again. So some of you I know were at convention, and you might have heard already some of this information and seen some of those slides, but we thought with Valia it was important to go through this same presentation again, because I'd like to talk to you about the basis of doTERRA when it comes to sourcing and the impact that we make around the world. My story is I've been part of the doTERRA family, I would say, for more than 10 years now, even though I've only been an employee of doTERRA for about 8 years. And the reason is because before that, I was actually on the other side of the bottle. I was one of doTERRA's supplier of sandalwood oil in Australia. So when we started working producing enough oil to go into the aromatherapy world and look for new customers. I did my research and looked at all the different companies around the world, and I looked at doTERRA and I thought, wow, they seem to have very strong ethics. I learned that their testing, was very, very strict, and we had a fantastic product, and we had a fantastic sustainable story here with trees not here, in Australia. I don't know where I am today. And I thought, wow, if we can become a partner of doTERRA, this would be something amazing. And it did happen. We contacted doTERRA, met with them. They came and visited the plantation, visited the operation, talked to all the people, took the samples, did all the tests, and then we got qualified as a supplier, which was amazing for us, knowing of the standards of doTERRA. And so when the opportunity came for me to actually join doTERRA on the sourcing side and work with other suppliers around the world, of course, I didn't think about it twice. I jumped on the opportunity. So it's been 8 years now that I work with an amazing team all around the world, working with farmers, distillers, producers, to bring you all those amazing products. And I'm so proud of the purity of our oil, of the quality of our oil, and how we work on the ground with everybody. So that's why I'm still here. So when it comes to impact, and thank you for the presentation about the match program, our impact doesn't only stop at the oils that we use and introduce to other people. Our impact actually goes to other communities all around the world. The farming communities, but also communities that live, that really have a need. So when it comes to impact, we kind of separate into 3 different sections. First of all, through the co-impact sourcing model, we are working with partners all around the world and with responsible sourcing standards, and we are able to help these communities and develop projects specifically for them. Then you have the match program, and I know in Europe, you guys are amazing. I've seen so many match programs come through everywhere, Bulgaria specifically as well, so thank you for that, for doing this. And also from a local point of view, and when I mean local, I mean the different markets. So doTERRA in Japan might be doing some programs, doTERRA in the US might be through Healing Hands, but in Europe, same thing. It's been amazing to see how many projects and programs all around Europe you've been able to support. So this is another example. So this brings me to the definition of what is co-impact sourcing. How do we define it at doTERRA? And it's really about our commitment to responsibly source the essential oils and other ingredients with care and with respect for not only the people that produce and grow all those amazing crops and oils, but also the planet, which is very important to us. So it's not just what we source, but it's how we source. And this is how we have chosen to do business. It's not an easy route. Some other companies take the easy route of buying oil from different brokers around the world and just putting it in the bottles. That is not how we do it. And so this is something that creates the difference at doTERRA. The doTERRA difference when it comes to sourcing, I'd like to touch on not only the responsible sourcing standards that we have, but also the quality. And sourcing plays a very important role in this. When it comes to our CPTG quality of oil, it is very important for us from a sourcing point of view. This is how also we choose partners around the world. The first thing when I meet a potential new producer of oil is to get a sample of their oil, and we conduct the testing. And if there is anything we don't like, the conversation stops there. We don't even try. If you don't have a pure product, there's no point coming to talk to us. So this is how, in terms of sourcing, we can help with that quality and purity of the products. And of course, when it comes to responsible sourcing, We work with partners all around the world. We have had many very long-term relationships with some of our partners, but we're also looking always for new partners, potentially with new products that we can bring. And this is very important for 4 important elements: ethics in the supply chain, sustainability as well, responsibility, and also how they support the community around them. So this is really the key pillars, the key elements that we look for. One thing that we are very proud of is now doTERRA is a member of UEBT. And UEBT is a non-profit organization. It stands for Union for Ethical Biotrade. And it's an organization that really promotes responsible sourcing and biodiversity. So they have also auditors that travel around the world, have very strict standards on human rights, on biodiversity, and we are working with them as well to verify some of our supply chains. And actually this week in Bulgaria at Shipka in Terra Rosa, we had a second year of verification as well with the auditors there. So this is something that we are very proud of because it's not an easy thing to become a member of UEBT. So people often ask us, how does this work on the ground? How do you actually work to find these amazing partners or work with the existing partners? The long-term relationship is so important. When people ask me what is the most important in your job, is the relationships that we have with the people. It's about trust, it's about transparency. So our team is spread all around the world, and we have a sourcing manager that looks after Europe, for instance, and we travel a lot because we go on the ground. We go and do our own due diligence. We make sure that those responsible and ethical sourcing standards are followed. And we also work with other third-party verification bodies. So UEBT is one of them, Fairwild is another one, and those are like third-party auditors that actually come and verify those supply chains that we ask them to work along with us. And it's not just a yes or no thing, and it's always about improvement. We always work together with our partners to keep improving the situation everywhere. No supply chain is the same. Every material is different. Every country is different. The needs are different, and so we need to adapt every time, but it's always about improvement. And of course, because we work with the people on the ground and we spend time with them, we are then able to learn from them what the needs are for the communities around them. And that's how we can have very specific targeted projects, social impact projects to help the communities amongst the sourcing areas, but also outside of the sourcing areas. This is my favorite slide always. We do not show all the oils on this slide. We don't have enough space on paper, but also we like to keep our little secrets from competition. But we source more than 250 essential oils and ingredients from 45 countries as of today. And as you can see, Europe is a major region for us when it comes to sourcing essential oils. And when I look at this map, the first thing I always think about as being part of the sourcing team are 2 things. It's risks and it's diversification needs. So I give you an example. In some countries like Australia, very often the farms are actually very large plantation, and they might have 4, 5, 6, 10 employees that come and work for the harvesting time or maintenance, sometimes during the year. So the impact there is relatively small, because we're only talking about that number of people. If you look at a country like Africa, for instance, in Kenya, the crops are usually grown by smallholder farmers that might have even half an hectare, a very small plot of land, where they can grow the crop and then bring this material to the distillery, which is sometimes like a cooperative of farmers that build this distillery together and get paid for the raw material. So if I'm looking at a product, an oil that is of exactly the same quality from one country to the other, in one country, for instance, in Australia, we have suffered from drought, from fires, we had floodings. The last few years were wild weather down there. And so for us, we can limit our risk by sourcing in another country as well together, but also make a bigger impact. Because for instance, in Kenya, we work with hundreds of smallholder farmers instead of working with just 5 or 6 or 8 people in Australia. So this is an example of how it's not just what we source, but it's how we do it to make sure that we make an impact and the greatest impact possible along the way. And of course, the more oils you use, the more oils you sell, the more people get to grow these crops. So it's thanks to you again. Oops, did I click too fast? No. Okay, so I wanted to talk about 3 specific projects to illustrate everything that I've just explained up to now. And I will be going after Bulgaria to Albania, where we have an amazing projects going on right now that only started in March this year. We're actually funding, with climate change, we are seeing now some areas where water is becoming an issue for the crops. And so in Albania, where we source helichrysum and laurel leaf and other oils like juniper berry, we actually developing with our partner on the ground the implementation of 20 water wells, which will be grid powered, so with electricity for the pumps and everything, to bring water to farmland, 400 hectares of farmland, so that the farmers there can use this water to grow the crops for essential oil, but also grow crop for their own food and for their families, but it will also bring potable water to their families. So altogether, we're looking at 400 hectares of land, 300 farmers, and with their families, the impact will be of about 6,000 people when this project is all implemented. So once again, helping the communities in our sourcing areas with the needs that they really have, and that we can help them through Healing Hands as well. So for instance, I mentioned about UEBT earlier. We have also worked with UEBT in Albania. They have verified our helichrysum and laurel leaf supply chain. They will be doing juniper berry later this year as well. And same thing, that just helps us finding some gaps where we can always work with our partners to improve those supply chains. Bulgaria, I have to talk about Bulgaria, of course. We're very lucky in Bulgaria. We have amazing operations and an amazing team here. I hope that you are all very familiar with our operations in Bulgaria, but just to summarize, we started at the very beginning in Dobrich with Esetere. Esetere was set up to first distill melissa and lavender, and then we've expanded since then, grown, installed more stills, so we're doing also the blue yarrow and savory. And when it's not the harvest season for those oils, we are now bringing the frankincense, not all of them, but some of our frankincense resin and myrrh resin from Africa to Bulgaria, so that our expert team at Esetere can distill the frankincense and myrrh oils here in Bulgaria. So it's a big expansion. Esetere is working most of the year, except this month, because 5 years ago we developed Terra Rosa in Shipka to be able to produce the rose oil that goes into the doTERRA bottles. So we were there this week, going back tomorrow. It's full speed ahead over there. This year we're working with 43 farmers, and farmers can have a small plot of plantation. Some of them have a bigger plantation. They might hire as well harvesters to help them. But did you know that a rose bush produces flowers every day? But you cannot harvest all of them in one day. So it's so manually labor intense that farmers and pickers have to go through each bush on their plantation every day to pick up some of the flowers that are ready. And so we have contracts with them, and every day they are bringing flowers to Terra Rosa. I know some of them have been there. I've been there last year with some of you, yes. And so what we do is when the farmers bring their flowers every day, they put their bags on the belt, which is actually a scale, so that we can weigh how much flowers they bring every day. And we pay them an agreed price in advance, and we take all the flowers they bring to us every day. And we distill 24/7. So they start coming in the morning and it keeps going all day. So once this is happening at Terra Rosa, we bring about 20 to 25 people from Essatere, all our experts production people at Terra Rosa, so they can take care of the rose oil harvest during this time. So I hope that you will get there one day if you haven't yet at both Terra Rosa and Essatere, because you can really understand how we work with farmers, but also how we care about the quality of the product in terms of the production. We have done so many projects in Bulgaria over the years. We have spent more than $900,000. It's probably close to $1 million now. I don't have the exact number for social impact projects here in Bulgaria. And this is once again thanks to you. We've seen some photo of the pediatric unit. I don't know if it was the Dobrich Hospital, but when I was here last year, we sponsored, funded renovations of the pediatric area in the Dobrich Hospital, so that the children would have, and their families would have a much better environment to stay in. And some wellness advocates came and helped, taping windows before painting and all of that. So this is an example of the Healing Hands support here in Bulgaria. But me personally, I was here last year when we worked actually with an NGO called I Believe and Help, who was made us aware of a shortage of blood available in hospitals and clinics around the Shipka province. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the whole province, but they came to us and said, if we had a mobile blood donation clinic that we could take around, and then people could go and donate their blood, then we could bring this to hospitals and clinics and help so many people, because there is a shortage. So we got all together, and actually even the doTERRA Japan market was the big contributor to this project. And this van here that you see on the photo, it was a complete, just brand new van, and it was all modeled and designed so that inside you had 2 chairs, and it just goes around with a nurse that actually people can just go and donate their blood. And so that's also making a big difference in the area. So that was quite special. And we've worked for many years, and that's an ongoing thing. And before I go into this one, we are talking to them at the moment to see what other needs they have, and they have some other ideas as well. For instance, with neonatal transport to hospitals, there is also a shortage in some areas in Bulgaria. So we're working on seeing how we could put a proposal together for that at the moment. But one other amazing organization we work with is called Step by Step here in Bulgaria, and we've been sponsoring them for years and years, and very much so from doTERRA Europe. And it's an amazing group of volunteers and workers that actually look after some children that come from disadvantaged families or even orphans, and spend time with them, educating them, teaching them some skills, helping them, with friends, with homework, learning about financial, just those everyday skills, and developing activities specifically for this group. And this is something that we will keep doing also. And stories, I talked about Albania and Bulgaria here as example, and just to reinforce, it's not just about the farming, it's not just about the farmers, it's not just about the production of those oils that we all love and use, but it's really about the relationship and the people. So it's so important to us how we make an impact everywhere in the world. And actually, when my friends ask me, what do you love about your job? I always say, well, you know, whatever I've done today, whether, sorry, when I go to bed, I know I helped one person, either you or someone that produced you. And so I wanted to talk to you a bit on my side of the world. We work a lot with Vietnam. Vietnam is actually a very important country for us when it comes to sourcing. We source quite a few oils over there in Vietnam. Same thing, those oils are produced by an amazing partner that actually built a distillery in the plantations. He's got actually two of them in different locations so that the oil can be distilled, the crops can be distilled where they are harvested for the best quality. So he works with farmers that have plantation and also people that actually just harvesters. And when it comes to some Litsea that we source from Vietnam, for instance, it's only harvested a few weeks during the year. And those ladies from ethnic minorities go together, chat, chat, chat. I've been there. I could hear them chat, chat, chat in their beautiful ethnic outfit, and they would go together in the mountain and pick up the Litsea fruits from the forest and then bring it to the distillery and receive a cash payment for that. So they, as a woman, are able to bring an income to their family through that, which is amazing. But we work with a non-profit organization also in Vietnam called the Blue Dragon Children Foundation. It was created more than 25 years ago by a group of Australians actually. We were in Vietnam and realized that in the street there were lots of children by themselves living in the streets. And usually it's because they come from villages where people have told them, if you go to the city, you can get some job and bring some money back to your families. And unfortunately, they end up in situations that don't work as planned. And so this organization developed a center in Hanoi where they actually welcome kids. You can go for a meal there. They organize some activities. There's even places where they can sleep. And they've gone through this for a few years and realized really that there was a lot of issues with human trafficking specifically in the north of Vietnam with the other neighboring countries, where same thing, people would come to villages and say, hey, you can go and work in this country, you can sign this contract, you can be a waitress, or you can be, working in an office. So of course it's very, attractive to these people, and so they would go and do that, and when they end up there, it's a completely different story. And I'm not even going to talk about the stories that I've heard because it's heartbreaking, but a lot of ladies or even children could end up in prostitution rings, in some brothels, some scam centers. Since COVID, actually, there's much more online scamming happening. So there are centers where it's just buildings where people arrive there, get locked up, and have to call and scam people all day, and if they don't perform, things happen. So the Blue Dragon Foundation works with authorities to actually try to rescue some of those people, from working with legal entities in those countries. Then they work together and try to bring those people who sometimes have to walk through the jungle for 3 days at a time to get back into Vietnam. And they've gone beyond by setting up also an aftercare center, so victims can actually stay there. And we started working, wellness advocates from Australia actually have started working with the psychologists there on how to use the oil to help those victims. And they've seen amazing results. But the foundation came to us. We've been sponsoring them with rescue operations, helping with the center for more than 2 years now. And they came to us and said, you know, our mission is to end human trafficking in Vietnam. So we have to tackle this at the base, and the base is prevention. So we've just agreed and signed up to actually sponsor them on a 3-year prevention program where they would have actually education in villages to explain to people and help them develop some kind of work in their villages if they want to stay, so that they become less and less vulnerable to human traffickers. And that it's impacting so many people there. So once again, you know, I have many other stories like this, and I'd be very happy to answer any questions, you know, as we get to see each other during the day today. But once again, thank you, because this is all thanks to you.
Thank you so much.